The 2002 version of Hansel and Gretel is an absolute joy, definitely one of the most unique versions of the story that I've seen. I recently read the Brothers Grimm story, it's definitely interesting, and I've watched multiple adaptations, and so far, I think I have 2 left to watch, but so far, this one is my favourite. This was released, of course, 2002. It's directed by Gary J. Tunnicliffe, written by Tunnicliffe, Timothy Dolan, and Jonathan Bogner, of course based on the story by the Brothers Grimm, with a cast including Taylor Momsen, Jacob Smith, Delta Burke, Howie Mandel, Dakota Fanning, Tom Arnold, Bobcat Goldthwait, Sinbad, and various others. And apparently, it has a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. It does only have 5 reviews though on there at the time of recording. It has an IMDb score of 4.4 out of 10 across 1.7 thousand reviews and ratings. Honestly, please ignore those ratings. I can't guarantee that you will love it, but I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I'm certainly happy to recommend it. I just thought it was such good fun. I will also point out, just as one last point of interest before I get in with the rest of the discussion about the film itself, according to Wikipedia, and I haven't fact-checked this, it had a budget of $10 million, and at the box office it made $154,642, which is scary. It's a scary difference. Apparently it only had a small theatrical release, which is interesting for a film of that budget. So I thought I'd get all of that information out of the way and say, on paper, it doesn't seem promising, but I absolutely loved it. It starts off with a father reading a story to 2 children, and that's of course the story of Hansel and Gretel. And we cut back to that family a few times, but not too frequently that it pulls away from the main narrative. It has a good balance. And then of course we have the story within the story of 2 children living in poverty who get lost in the woods. They discover the witch's candy house, and now the witch wants to fatten them up and eat them. But will she succeed? I won't give away too much, of course, and I won't say where any differences are with the story, but I will say, in general, if you're a fan of the story, it's certainly very recognisable. And in that aspect, it is a good adaptation of the core element of the story, but at the same time, there are some interesting characters they've included to make it a more unique experience. It does lean more into the fantasy element than any other version I've seen. The storytelling is great, really engaging, very well written, some really great dialogue, and is genuinely quite funny at times. I never really thought of Hansel and Gretel as being a funny story. The Brothers Grimm version certainly isn't funny, but I never really thought that it would be a topic that would lend itself well to being funny, but it actually works really well. The characters are very well written, they're believable with brilliant performances. Visually, it's very good with nice locations and good camera work and generally good lighting. I did want a little bit more from the exterior of the witch's house, given how creative and sometimes delightfully over the top some other aspects of the film were. I had expected a little bit more from the witch's house. It's nice enough to look at, but I did expect it to look a little bit better, a little bit more visually engaging. But at the same time, it's not terrible, it's not bad, it just wasn't quite as creative and fun as the rest of the film. I do love the character of the witch and how the character was handled. There were a few things from that part of the story that I perhaps hadn't expected, and I really enjoyed that. In general, I found it to be a really engaging film, and I think it could be my new favourite adaptation. As I said, I have 2 left. There's the Fairy Tale Theatre one, and then I think there's one more adaptation to watch. I can't remember if it's a feature or a short, but at the moment, I'd say the 2002 Hansel and Gretel is my favourite version. Absolutely, I would watch this again. If you've been considering watching it, but all of those low numbers online have put you off, please give it a go. Again, I can't guarantee you'll enjoy it, but I'd say it's certainly worth trying. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought the 2002 Hansel and Gretel was a joy, and of course, I'm very happy to recommend it.